I just got my results back from the x-ray, which I think that explains a lot. You notice how a spine should be straight? That is not looking too healthy, which is quite funny because, you know, I've spent all this time and effort in the gym trying to build this, you know, perfectly proportioned, balanced physique. But if you look deep in the core of my being, I'm bent and messed up. So it just goes to show, if you're having any back problems or potentially any imbalances, it might be worth you getting an x-ray, because no matter what you do, you could be just battling against your imbalanced spine, which is causing the majority of the problems. Men that have urges, sexual desires with different women, that's just the way it is. Those men who are in successful relationship and they don't cheat, it's mostly down to the fact that they're extremely disciplined and they can control their emotions.
And do you think that makes him more high value than a man that is?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, technically, on paper, way more high value.
How you cheated on a girl? This is a girl.
I have, but when I was younger, I saw how that obviously affected the girl and how I felt after doing it. I wouldn't do it again.
Don't do this. Fix up your wrists, keep them in line with your forearm, elbows, keep them pointed in the direction at which the weight is moving, and keep your scapula fixed in place.
Oh my God, look at his legs. Wow, he's got great arms. No, his back.
When it comes to growing your chest, there's no need to overcomplicate things by doing 10, 15 different chest exercises. You're better off just picking 3, 4, maybe even 5 and just executing those exercises to your very best ability. Practice getting better at them, and as long as you progressively overload, prove the mind-muscle connection, then your chest is going to grow.
Pretty sure Mike Thurston is gay.
Is he actually?
And he pays girls to be in his videos to make it look like he's straight.
What makes you say that?
Everything about him. 99% sure that he's gay. Straight or not, Mike Thurston. And then he had to introduce his cameraman. His cameraman might be his partner, like based on what he said. I'm the biggest supporter ever. So I'm like, if he was, why does he just say it? But like, you don't have to.
I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Rating Mike Thurston's physique. Mike's strength is clearly his chest. These are some of the best chest genetics I've ever seen. Just unreal. His upper body in general is really, really good, but his chest is definitely the star. If I had to point out a weakness in his upper body, I'd say it's definitely his abs. They are quite symmetrical, but they're very, very blocky, and he doesn't really have a 6-pack, it's kind of more like a 4-pack. His back is nothing special. Again, through flicking through his Instagram page, I couldn't find a single picture of his back. It was just videos, and I think that's for a reason. It just lacks that wow factor that his chest has. I'd say his legs are also kind of a weakness. They're not bad by any means, but they definitely could be bigger, and they do lack a little bit of quad separation at the top. I also don't think he has the best structure. He's got very, very wide hips, which doesn't give him a very good V-taper, and in my opinion, makes him look quite blocky. I think Mike's chest is so good that people kind of forget about the rest of his physique. I think Mike and Matt Does Fitness are about the same for me, so I'm gonna give Mike the same score.
If you are a traditional woman who's got no pictures on Instagram, who isn't going out all day, every day, who isn't sleeping around and isn't getting lots of surgery, there's no reward in that. You will never find a date. There's no reward in being a traditional good woman anymore.
2 years ago, I was very public about my relationship. My girlfriend was all over the vlogs. She was everywhere. And she didn't mind, she was cool with it. But what I found was weird was that everybody knew my business. And I thought my life was very public as it is, doing the vlogs. Now I'm being very public with my relationship. And during the relationship was fine. Maybe every now and then she gets some weird messages, weird stalkers. But when we broke up, that was when it was a problem, because everybody kept asking me like, oh, what's going on? What's going on with you? What's going on? Like all the YouTube comments, all my inbox. Same thing with her.
Hold your ankles. Are you in the air?
Yeah.
felt a lot lighter than that 200 kilos.
That's enough. Okay, so next exercise. Wrap your straps secure.
Women don't want better, they want what they're used to. So if you meet a woman whose dad was an alcoholic or a dad was abusive or didn't grow up with a father figure, she will have a high-value rich man who treats her really well and cheat with her toxic PT. Your competition is never other men. Your competition is her values.
I get asked this a lot. You'll be like, what? You're only doing chest once a week? Like, that's not optimal. Well, no. It's not optimal if you want to try and maximize growth in the chest region. But when I look at my physique, my chest is the most dominant muscle group by far. So would it make sense for me to train chest twice a week and pack on the volume? Not really, because it means my chest is just going to get even bigger and I'll start to get out of proportion. The bigger the chest, the smaller the delts look. And I want to improve the proportion and size of my delts.
I actually wish I'd had kids earlier. Now that this is gonna sound crazy, but if I could turn back time, some of the ex-girlfriends who I lost when I was 22, 23, 24, when I was flat broke dating these women, I wish I'd got them all pregnant. That'd be cool, cause hear me out. Right now, I'd have like an army, a small army of 15 to 16-year-old people who would be like on my team, helping me run the empire.
Top 3 exercises for chest. First of all, I would go with the dumbbell press, whether it be slight decline, flat or incline. I would then go for some form of cable fly or pec deck. And then thirdly, I would do some form of plate loaded machine press.
I told her, I'm like, look, every now and then, I just get urges to sleep with other girls. And she actually took it really well. And she's like, yeah, it's normal, you're a guy. So every now and then I can go off and do my thing. Keep it private secret. No one knows about it. I'm not disrespecting it. Yeah, nobody knows. And then it actually strengthens my relationship because I naturally just all of a sudden start feeling more aroused when I'm around her.
The night before a scene, what I'll typically do is I'll have what I call my boner shake. So my boner shake is really simple. It's just 4 raw eggs and a scoop of vanilla protein powder and some water. And I blitz that up. So I've got like all the basic chemical building blocks I need to produce a ton of testosterone while I'm asleep. I call it my boner shake because if you do that, if you try that, you should wake up the next morning with a raging hard on.
Just basically go to the shop and get some eggs, please. Whenever you're doing a shoulder press, you need to stop pressing like this and bringing the dumbbells all the way down so they're touching your front delt. The proper way to do them is to bring them just to around mouth level so your elbows are staying at 90 degrees and then you're driving back up, bringing your elbows together. So if you want to grow your lower abdominal muscles, don't do this exercise. Lying leg trays on a flat surface with straight legs not only over-engages the hip flexors, but you actually cause quite a lot of stress to the lower back. What you want to do, keep the knees bent, avoid that lower back stress, and actually go through a full range of motion. If you can do it on an incline bench, that's even better. It's going to be a lot more effective. Most women want to get married and have children. Very few want to be wives and mothers.
In my experience of working with, clients and couples, wives and mothers involves being quite nurturing, and it's a selfless role. When you become a mother, you realize that, the crying baby doesn't care if you're hungry, tired, sleeping. It's an automatic selfless role. And in this hedonistic society where there's so much pleasure available, being selfless is becoming a dying trait. I don't think people understand the level of selflessness that it takes to maintain a healthy marriage and children, and they almost expect faithfulness, loyalty. They expect the marriage to work because that's what it used to be. But now we have to work on it, unfortunately. It's not going to come effortlessly, and that requires selflessness.
I learned my biggest lessons from just getting heartbroken and going through the experience of being a simp and then literally being treated like trash and then realizing, oh, okay, I understand what mistakes I made. So I mean, people can try as much as possible to try and learn from the mistakes that other people have made, but I think nothing is more hard-hitting than actually experiencing it yourself.
Yeah.
when I'm in a relationship, I've definitely learned what to do and what not to do. And I think ultimately it just comes down to respect. Like, you have to respect your partner.
Yeah, of course.
So now on social media, if I'm in a relationship, then don't follow any other girls unless it's business.
Yeah.
Don't like any other girls' photos. Even if they say they're cool with that, they're not cool with it. What's your advice to men to get women's attention and to get them to like them?
It's actually extremely difficult nowadays, I think. Back in the day, you could be a plumber, but you're a bit funny. You go to the bar, find a chick, talk some shit, buy her a pint, whatever. You'd be fine, right? But now it's all status. The girls want to be like, I was with Mike Thurston. It's all Instagram and status. So as a man, you have to be doing something to try and improve your status. Yeah, physique is one thing, money's another thing, who you know is another thing. There's lots of different ways to do it, right? But if you're a man with truly no status in society, now it's hard.